Module 16, ICT and Enhancing Creativity. In this module, we are going to see that how ICT can be used to enhance children's creativity. We have learned that ICT and creativity are very interlinked. In the previous modules, we have discussed in details the kind of apps and the kind of activities that children and teachers can perform to enhance the experience. Now remember that creativity is a process-focused phenomenon. हमें ये बात ज़हन में रखनी है कि प्रोसेस फोकस का मतलब ये है कि वी शुड नॉट बी ओवर एम्फसाइजिंग व्हाट द एंड प्रोडक्ट ऑफ दैट क्रिएटिविटी इज़. वी शुड फोकस ऑन द प्रोसेस, the emotional, the mental, the social, whatever the process the child is going through to achieve that creative outcome. So keep that in mind. Secondly, the question arises, how can we encourage creativity in young children? अब creativity को किस तरह से हम उसको प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं, उसको इनिशिएट कर सकते हैं या उसको फैसिलिटेट कर सकते हैं बच्चों के अंदर. उसके कुछ वेज हैं, लेकिन सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंटली वी हैव टू नो दैट देयर आर सर्टन थिंकिंग स्किल्स दैट लीड टू क्रिएटिविटी. अब कुछ थिंकिंग स्किल्स ऐसी हैं जो कि इवेंचुअली क्रिएटिव थॉट की तरफ लेके जाती हैं. वो कौन सी थिंकिंग स्किल्स हैं? रिस्क टेकिंग है, इमेजिनेशन है, एलेबोरेटिंग है, ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग है, imagery, artistry, adaptability and open-mindedness. All of these are thinking skills that encourage your child's creativity. Now, what is the difference between creative and critical thinking skills? You must recall कि हमने एक discussion की थी जिसमें हमने ये बात elaborate की थी कि sometimes people think that a person can be artistic or scientific. This is the traditional point of view. Recent research suggests that you can be both. And creative thinking, if we talk about creative thinking, if you really want to put it in simple terms, तो हम ये कह सकते हैं कि creative thinking का मतलब ये है कि you make something new. While critical thinking means that you are making sound judgments about something on the basis of previous information. Both are interrelated, but they cannot function without each other. This was the traditional point of view. The recent research suggests otherwise. This was all in the past when children were thought of as simple little human adults, or the concepts of children's thought were not that evolved at that time. अब उसमें क्या है कि अब जो recent theories हैं बच्चों की, वो बच्चों के creative thoughts और उनके mental processes को बहुत ज़्यादा स्पेसिफिकली फोकस कर रही हैं और उनको बहुत डिटेल में डिस्कस कर रही हैं. दैट इज़ वाई देयर इज़ अ शिफ्ट इन ऑल ऑफ दिस थ्योरी रिगार्डिंग क्रिएटिव स्किल्स एंड development, early development in children, what kind of emotional development they are going through, what kind of physical and mental developments they are going through. The experts are now putting forward some milestones for them, and these milestones are relative. They can be changed according to the context of the child, the social background, the economic background of the child, or these are relative. So let us see that which subject areas. Now आप सोचते होंगे कि कौन से सब्जेक्ट ऐसे हैं जो कि क्रिएटिव थॉट को प्रमोट करते हैं. जब हम ये क्वेश्चन करते हैं तो यही जहन में आता है कि इट मस्ट बी आर्ट, इट मस्ट बी म्यूज़िक, इट मस्ट बी डांस और स्कल्पचर और थिंग्स लाइक दैट. बट actually it is true that you can learn creativity through, first of all, reading किस तरह से क्रिएटिव थॉट आपकी प्रोड्यूस करिए. जब आप रीडिंग करते हैं तो आप इमेजिन करते हैं थिंग्स, आप इमेजिन करते हैं सिनारियोज़ को, आप इमेजिन करते हैं सिचुएशंस को एंड कैरेक्टर्स को. सो ऑल ऑफ दिस लीड्स टू योर क्रिएटिव एबिलिटीज़ एंड क्रिएटिव थॉट डेवलपमेंट. मैथमेटिक्स ऑल्सो promotes creative thought when you think of new and different ways to solve the same problem. That also leads to the facilitation of creative thought. फिर आपकी साइंस भी. Then when you explore about the world around you, the children want to know about, they are curious about everything, and while they are exploring, they have that curiosity or a boost of imagination. In all of that, they are developing in their process of creative problem solving. आर्ट एज वेल, ऑब्वियसली देयर इज़ नो डिबेट कि आर्ट तो क्रिएटिव थॉट को प्रमोट करती है. नाउ हाउ कैन यू इन्हांस क्रिएटिविटी इन your children. Whether you are a parent, you are a caregiver or a teacher, you are taking care of your child and you want to develop creativity. सबसे पहली चीज़ आपने ये करनी है कि develop reading habits in your child. Reading habits are important both for language development, for imagination, for curiosity, for correct use of language. All of this leads to enhancing the creative thought. Secondly, questions. The more questions you ask your child, the more inquisitive he or she will be, the more curious he or she will be. So too many questions, and children actually enjoy a lot of questions. So you must not get like done with कि ये अब इतने ज़्यादा सवाल हो रहे हैं, इस सवाल का मैं क्या जवाब. You should be very forthcoming. You should be welcoming to all of their questions. This leads to the development of their creative thought. Problem solving and problems to solve and problems to create. Teach your children how to create problems. For example, if they are creating a problem, they must know how to solve it. And then this is a cyclic process. So you should not only be focusing on solving that problem, but also creating new ones. This is because this leads to expanding their boundaries of thought regarding how to approach a problem and how many ways there are to solve it. Now we are going to talk about giving responsibility. How does giving responsibility enhance creativity? When the child is responsible for a certain task, like folding their clothes or putting their toys away when they are done playing with them, all of these little tasks create an opportunity for them to learn new things and do things in new ways. For example, some of their stuffies might not fit in a certain cupboard and they are deciding to fit in some other, finding some other place for that toy. All of this involves a bit of problem solving, a bit of opportunity to learn new ways to do new things. Then we can help them to develop hypotheses. Now, hypothesis development is a very important process in the scientific steps that we have learned earlier. That hypothesis development is kind of an intelligent guess that we are teaching our children to make, to calculate about things, to estimate or to make a hunch or an assumption about a thing that has not happened and what they think about it. That is a hypothesis. You can teach them by encouraging them to ask questions like, what do you think if this would happen? आपका क्या ख्याल है कि अगर आपका जो पेट रैबिट है उसको अगर हमने एक दिन के लिए बाहर छोड़ दिया तो क्या होगा? या अगर उसने खाना ना खाया तो क्या होगा? What would happen? या इस तरह से if someone took away their favorite stuffy toy, what would happen? How would they feel? What would they do? All of these questions would lead to certain calculated answers and they would lead to how they are going to develop hypotheses. This is a very early beginnings of the hypothesis development stage. Next, you should play lots and lots of games with them. Now, games can both be in digital format and in physical format. Since we are talking about ICT, there are a lot of technology, digital apps that are supporting learning at early years. What activities can you do to support that creative learning? You can do drawing, painting, spy games, guessing games, sorting games, pretend play जिसमें बच्चों की role playing होती है and they are taking on a certain role and performing in that way. Obstacle courses. अब obstacle courses digitally जब हम बात करें तो वो adventure games के अंदर आ जाती है कि adventure games में certain obstacles होते हैं और उसमें उन्होंने उसको overcome करना होता है. But physical obstacle courses are different from digital ones. Some of the best educational apps जिनको 2023 के लिए रेट किया गया वो आपके सामने हैं, जिसमें नंबर 1 पे खान एकेडमी किड्स है, बट दे आर नॉट टारगेटिंग वेरी अर्ली लर्नर्स, थोड़े से एडवांस लर्नर्स को टारगेट करती है. बिजी शेप्स, मूस मैथ, टोका नेचर, ऑल ऑफ दीज आर एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ सम एप्स दैट आर enhancing or adding to the creative development of children.